So next up we have Francesco's work, and Francesco is doing something that I think is really creative here and really unique. Haven't seen a lot of projects like this since I've been teaching this class. So he wants to speak to climate change and issues surrounding the environment. So he's using this character that's kind of, I guess, an astronaut type of person with this space helmet on. And gosh, I just think this is absolutely great. I think it works really, really well. And if we look at all of these images, you know, they clearly convey this really um, cleanly defined portrait of the environment. So in this instance, we've got a lot of green space here. It's very balanced. We've got, sort of equal things on both sides of the frame. We've got the power wires here and all of them, and we've got sort of this strange looking, character in the middle. And I think it really forces the viewer to question, why is this character here? What are they doing? What are they trying to represent? What are they trying to say? And I think it's just a really, really great approach to, what honestly can become kind of like cliched topics. So, the images for me that work the best out of these are the ones, where it's a very clean, like this one is almost cinematic in the use of space in there. Just a really, really great image. The one thing I would say here is I think you need to decide whether you're going color or black and white with the whole series. And I think because you're talking about the environment and we want to talk about sort of, the green grasses represent life, I think that color is going to be important. So I think I would probably opt for putting all of these images in color as opposed to black and white. Again, just a great image, lots of sky here, beautiful color, texture in the clouds, lots of empty space there. I mean, can't say enough about this. Just really, really great work. Love it. And I just love, the reflection of the sunset in the helmet. Again, sort of initiates some questioning about what's going on and what's happening here. And this is one of the things too that our artist statement can really come into play here. There's a certain vagueness that works here that we don't know what this person is about, but you talk a little bit about why this person's in here and what your concerns are in your artist statement, and they all kind of come together to be tied up in a really cohesive, strong body of work here. So, great job. I mean, again, same way, perhaps just a little bit lighter. How about that? I think you'd agree with me that that works a little bit better. But again, all three of these images, take away the black and white, make that image color. All three of these are home runs for your final project. Same way here, you're a little bit on the dark side. I know this is a tough one because if we're going to lighten this up, we're going to lose the color in the sky here. And actually, we didn't do too bad. So we can kind of just go in and recover that color in the sky with a layer mask. And there it is. I mean, again, home run. I'd hang these images on my wall for sure. This is just a great, great series. Probably for me, maybe this is the weakest of the group that I've seen. I think this one log going in here diagonally kind of, it almost feels out of place. It almost looks like too perfect of a log, as if like someone put a telephone pole in there or something like that. So if I had to edit out one, that one probably be the first one that I edit out. Another great shot. Love it. I mean, just sort of the yin and the yang going on with the spaceman and the moon. And, are you saying, okay, we're going to have to evacuate this planet because of of climate change and what's happening in the environment. Um, it's just great. Super awesome, creative approach to this. Same way again. Really, really great. And I think these were two images that you had uh, early on in your project development here. Um, you know, good shots here. I mean, beautiful side lighting reveals the texture in the finger. But I mean, these just don't work with the other images that you shot. These are all great. You know, you come up with maybe 2 or 3 more images like this, and I think you are all set on everything. And you maybe mentioned that you might drift into some other topics. I don't think you need to do that. I think you're doing great here. You know, just stick with these type of images, stick with the environment. I think you got plenty of other locations that you can work with, and I think you're going to be in great shape here. So really, really awesome start here, and look forward to seeing what else you have to offer up. Okay, next up we have Lucian's work. And Lucian is playing around with the idea of change and sort of like how everything on this planet sort of goes through this cycle of life. So obviously, the fall and this time of year is a really good time to work on this project. Although I do hope that you have sort of been building up your library of sort of these before and after images, because as you know, as we kind of progress further into the season here and get closer to winter, you're going to have more after shots and not a lot of before shots. So as we can see here, you start with the before shot and then the after shot with the trees like this. What I might even consider doing for something like this is I might put both these images on one photograph. So I just did a select all, copy, go over to your other image, then Command B, paste this in here, and then I can do a selection like this. And so I selected basically one half of the photograph. So you got sort of a before and after. And maybe something like that. I think that's kind of cool. Maybe that's the direction you go with things. And again, something different, and you're kind of comparing and contrasting two different states of being for the tree, and by extension, whatever else you use in there. So again, the way that I did this is I just did select all, edit. Oops, I deselected there. Then copy, and then go to the other image, and then edit, paste, and you'll see it's in a layer right here. So the two images are actually here, and then basically what we have to do is we just have to erase part of this top layer. So we just take the eraser here. In this case, I did a rectangular marquee tool to find the middle here. I drag it down to make a selection. So I've selected this area. And then when I make a selection, it's only going to erase within that selection. And there, by doing that, we get like a nice sharp edge in the middle there. So give it a try, and I think could be some interesting images here. And of course, if you have any questions on that technique that I just showed you there, shoot me an email, and I can continue to show you some examples of how to do that. So look forward to seeing how this project develops. And then last but not least, we have Brittany's work, and her images are focusing in on industrial decay, which certainly we have plenty of that to go around in this area. And again, I've talked a lot about this semester, the choice between black and white and color and things. And I think Brittany, once again, has made a really good decision here to create these images in black and white, because I think when we do stuff in black and white, we're kind of alluding to the past, and it makes us think about, the history of things. So when we look at these old decayed buildings, we kind of think about their past, and what they might have been, and how they would have been created, years back when they were originally envisioned, and how they've decayed again over the course of time. And I think black and white really is the perfect medium to do that. So lots of great images here as I scroll through. I like this image, especially like having that sign in there. Again, maybe I'm always thinking about cropping images, and in this case, maybe I just tighten this one up a little bit. I kind of feel like this stuff over here is pretty irrelevant. So if we do just something like that, kind of get that sign so it's almost in the middle, maybe that works a little bit better for me. Another image here where I think we just want to use our crop tool a little bit. It looks just like it's tilting a little bit to the left here. Whoops. So see how I'm just using that crop tool to rotate this slightly, and then just move it like that. And I think we've got more of a straight up image. And again, I think really, really solid job here. I might play around with my tones just a little bit in the middle area there. So just kind of going in there, sorry. Maybe lightening that up. Again, brings a little bit more focus and a little bit of attention onto that decay. Same way on this one. I love sort of this repetition of patterns, and especially how this one falling tree on the right side of the frame is really breaking it up, which, the more I look at it, the more I think to myself, gosh, maybe that is the thing that we need to focus in on. So again, perhaps we crop in a little bit closer like that. And of course, you see me doing this a lot. A new adjustment layer. I change the blending mode to screen. And then we can go in and just paint off little areas of this mask. Kind of like that. So it just brings a little bit more emphasis to sort of all the different areas within the structure. So I like it. Love the fact that we sort of almost have like nature just taking over the whole planet here as it decays. I like that. Another great shot. Again, I love this sort of tilted smokestack here that kind of is going counter to everything else that's happening in this image. Again, it makes me kind of almost think that I want to crop in here a little bit. I could be wrong on this one. I don't know, maybe not. But still, great subject matter. You maybe play around with that a little bit and see what you get. Actually, as I kind of look at this, again, we'll pull that crop in there. And I think I want to rotate this crop just a little bit. Maybe something like that. So I don't know, what do you think? I kind of like that. So nonetheless, good shot either way that you go with it. Another great shot. Really like this a lot. Broken windows. And I think that for me there's a little bit of sense of humor here, in that it looks like there's some surveillance equipment there, and that surveillance equipment is, guarding a building that basically, is pretty much open to the elements. So I don't know. I don't think this one kind of fits in with the rest of the project. really great sort of modernistic architectural type of shot, but I don't get decay out of this. I mean, beautiful image. Love the lighting in there. Love that dark sky. I mean, I think this is a beautiful image, but as far as working in the body of work, I think that maybe we could edit this one out because I think it probably doesn't fit in with the rest. And again, this one I don't see as much decay here. I mean, I know this building is certainly in an area that is very decayed, and if anything, I'm almost kind of attracted to this tree in the lower corner here, just sort of up against nothing. But nonetheless, I think I think the first group of images that we looked at were the strongest of the group. It's just not enough decay here. I mean, again, a great shot, but I think in keeping everything together and cohesive, I think we want to maybe come up with 3 or 4 other images, where the decay is very prevalent in all of the photos. So keep on working on this, but I think really, really strong project to date. So look forward to seeing what you have to add to it as we finish things up here. So that'll do it for everybody, and look forward to you finishing up your projects and hopefully having a great end to the semester. So we'll see you in a couple days.